Hi everyone, welcome to this video where I tell you about my process and thoughts on the 7-day art challenge that I've just done. It kind of speaks for itself. It's just a challenge where you create something every day. I wanted to keep it contained to 7 days, but you can honestly do it however long you want. I decided to do this with the idea of wanting to stop ruminating on my creative ideas and just start making them. And I think a lot of artists and creatives have that struggle of having that fear of failure and perfectionism, that if you start something it has to be good and you can't just delete it anymore unless you're a digital artist. Perfectionism really gets the best of us. So I just wanted to work on that and learn how to actually get those ideas out of my head. So let's get into it. So for the first day, I wanted to really go back to that imaginative nature of art. So that became drawing a unicorn, which for me was very nostalgic because I used to create creatures like that all the time, and like mermaids, aliens, fairies, and of course unicorns. It felt like a nice first step to start this series off. Day 2 became a little more detailed and took way more time, but it did become... I got the inspiration for a landscape like this a while back, kind of with this kind of vibe, and I felt like the message that I thought of with this painting really fit the intention of this series, that taking that first step is difficult because you don't know how slippery the stones might be, but if you're mindful of the steps you take, you will be able to make it across. So to be more mindful of the practice you put into your talents, and just also taking time to do small art pieces instead of those big ones, as it takes time to do that. So, you need to take it step by step. So I found that that idea really fit into this series as well, and I simply wanted to make it and not push it forward any more than I already did. I really wasn't sure if I would be able to get the details correct. I tried using oil pastels on the bushes a little bit, but that did not work out the way I thought it would. So I changed that to using pencils on top of the watercolor, and I'm actually very happy that it worked out because the time it took was longer than I expected. So I wasn't sure if it would be finished at the end of the day, but it was. So I'm very happy about that. Yeah, and I'm happy that I finally made it. Because it really was on that creative shelf for a really, really long time. I think it was like maybe even last year that I got the inspiration for this idea. So it's good that it's finished now. For day 3, I grabbed a piece that I had been working on already. But the first time I painted on the canvas, it didn't go well. You might have seen the short video that I made about that. I truly don't know what happened, and it did need a redo. So I decided to do that in this series because, again, this also fits into accepting the process and accepting that if something doesn't go right the first time, you can always start over and try again. And redoing it did help, and I got a much better picture of what I wanted instead of my initial idea. I knew this project would take longer than just one day. It's completely fine because it definitely shows that you don't have to finish something in a day, and just that creative process is what's important and not necessarily the end result. So I did decide to also include the extension of this project and making that border, because the second part of the border is adding pearls to the outside. which is completely different than painting. So that's why I wanted to add that in as well. Because even the tedious little projects are part of the process. Not everything is always fun and games, but the end result is worth it, so a win is a win. Right now it's not great because it's kind of chaotic in the middle, as you can see. It's not as neat as the border itself, so there's still a lot of work to do, but the vision is there, and you'll probably see it when it's finished on Instagram and maybe even TikTok. I really like the border, and the gold will also be coming back around the inner oval just to really connect the border with the rest of the painting. The portrait inside will still need some work instead of being a pink blob. But the most important lesson about that is that the process can surprise you, and that's completely fine as long as you come out of it better than you did before. After 2 days of painting and purling, I decided to make a collage for day 5, which I hadn't done in a... well, actually no, I do collage sometimes, but not enough actually. I still had some cute illustrations from a magazine which I wanted to do something with, and I decided on a bookmark because you can never have too many bookmarks, as well as you can never have too many books. I do collect quite a few pictures out of magazines after I read them. It's the same with stickers. You intend to use them, but in the end you think they're too pretty, so you're scared to use them, which is unreasonable, but it still happens. And there's so much you can do with a collage, like for your journal, or you can make a mood board or a bookmark. So the possibilities are endless. For day 6 I wanted to do a little character creation because I've decided to join Art Fight next year. So I need to prep for that, and I also hadn't made a tiny little character creation in a bit, so I thought that was nice to add into this series. And obviously I'm going to add in my beloved Albert, which, as you will maybe know, is my art assistant. Call him my mascot, if you will. So obviously I had to make a little drawing out of him, and he will be on Art Fight as a character. I'm very interesting to see if anyone draws him. But yeah, he needed to be in there. And because I like creating characters, I just don't necessarily go further than just the idea of it. I do want to get into that a little more and draw them as well. I think for me the difficulty in that is anatomy. I genuinely do not like anatomy because for some reason I always make the shoulders too broad and then the legs way too short. So starting with Albert is great because he has no limbs that show, just his beard, his eyes, and I did add ears, which he doesn't have here, but I did feel like it was needed to add those because you can't have a gnome with 0 ears. I feel like gnomes always have big ears. And to finish off with day 7, I did some other prep work that actually goes together with the portrait. It will be a little painting of a crane, but I also wanted to make it different than just a little painting. So I decided to add paper cranes on the bottom that just kind of float underneath the painting. I used to make paper cranes all the time, like in school, at home. Like I always made paper cranes, so I have a box filled with them. And because it's also like a relaxing thing to do origami, I thought it was nice to add as well to this series. just because it's nice to find more relaxing little projects in between those bigger things and the busyness of life, just to calm down and relax a little bit and make something instead of consuming all the media that is shoved in front of her faces, really. And of course it's not bad to scroll on TikTok or watch videos or watch movies, TV shows. Next to that, there should be time to also do your own thing and get your own ideas out there as well. So I think for me, this week has really helped me to understand my own brain a little more, and that I actually do enjoy doing these little things, and I just haven't done them in a while. So it really did reintroduce those small projects into my life, and I do hope to include them more in my daily life now. And I hope to inspire you guys to also maybe start doing those little things more, or do a series like this or a challenge like this where you simply try to create something every day and get those ideas out of your head. Because even if it's just for yourself, those ideas are meant to be seen. I hope it's inspiring. I hope you guys can take something with you out of this series as well as I did, and get out there to create. If you like this video, don't forget to like, and if you like to see more like this, definitely subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!